Alright guys, welcome to the final build, the in-game build. I'm level 80 now. We're able to get through the level 187, which is the last level on the expedition maps here. Let's take a look at this. So let's go over our skill points here first. So where I'm sitting at level 80, you have a total of 790 points, right? So I have spent 540 in ferocity and 250 in toughness and 0 here in agility and 0 in wisdom. I actually played around with it a little bit and wasted a lot of gold resetting this a few times, putting points into wisdom just to see what it does to this build, since we're doing a lot elements, and the one we really want to put on is curse, just because it increases the damage received by the effective targets. So each stack that we put on the enemy, they get increased damage. Our resistance isn't super high, but it's okay. We're able to stay alive pretty well. So let's go over our skills real quick. So the first one is the tier. I'm not going to butcher the name, so I'm just going to call it tier. So we're using this to, the main thing we're using this for is it's got a high chance, 65%, to apply curse stacks. That's one of the reasons, and it does a butt ton, it does a lot of damage here. It does pretty good, and this is our main node we're picking up because it converts this skill into a dot, so it does damage over time. If you take it off, it just does this little rock that it throws down. It's an instant damage. If we put this on, we rain down the image over a little bit of time. This increases our ailment chance multiplier by quite a bit, 12 and 13%. More critical damage. Our crit chance is 54, and that's another reason we're going into that many points in the ferocity, because we want our spell critical chance above 50%. So I forgot to mention that. And this just adds more weapon damage, and this is cooldown reduction. And then we're moving into sacred damage for another reason, because it gives us the curse stack. I don't think any of these, I guess the rend damage does curse, but we're not doing material damage. We're doing occult damage. Next one is Anomaly. Anomaly is good just because it pulls everybody in. It allows us to damage all the mobs in one little group, and it keeps them off of us too. So we're picking up skill duration just to make it last a couple seconds longer. This one I've been playing around with. I really like it. It destroys projectiles in the Anomaly's area effect. So if enemies are in there or on the outside of it and you're on the opposite side and they're firing projectiles at you, it destroys them. So it keeps us from taking damage. This just increases our alignment chance. And this just does multiple pulls. And then of course on the bottom here we're using Night Eater to change this to sacred damage. And Havoc Orbs are only a rage point skill, and that's what we're using it basically for, is we're using it for the area effect, and we're using it to regenerate willpower. And that way we don't have to use willpower pots or anything. We just bring some health ones. So we're taking increased radius. We're increasing the weapon damage, crit chance score, weapon damage, and this is what turns it into a cluster. You can, if you want to, move around points and go with these 2 points here to add additional projectiles, but you lose 50% of your damage pretty much. So I don't think it's worth it. It does plenty of projectiles, especially since we picked up an extra node in the tree for projectiles. And now Lightbringer. I've been using this in this entire build, and I haven't changed Lightbringer up any. We're just using this one that leaves area effects that damages enemies when we land. This one heals. This one applies weakness. This gives an all resistance buff. This stuns. This is pretty much the key one here. You want this. This is what we're using this skill really for, is to engage and stun, so that way we don't take damage. The least amount of damage we take, the easier it is for us. Ether jump. Taking willpower cost reduction, maximum range, cooldown, some more willpower cost reduction. This gives us attack and spell casting speed when we use ether. This removes crowd control, so if we get frozen or stunned or whatever, you can hit ether and get out of that. And this just increases our movement speed. Our last and final skill, we switched over to Arctic Spear, and I'm really liking Arctic Spear just for the clear speed, and it works really well with Havoc Orb. If we could hold down both of these skills and have an unlimited supply of willpower, pretty much, it works really well together. So we're just increasing the damage. This one, it adds cast delay, so which isn't really that big of a deal. Still fires really fast, and it increases their damage by 100%. Let's take it off. See, that's so we go down to 8,900, and then we go up to 14,000. So it's a big increase in damage. This increases our damage to more. This changes into smaller projectiles, so it allows us to fire a bunch of projectiles. It kind of does what Havoc Orb does here, where it clusters, but it's a real good skill. You lose a bit of damage, but it's not very much. This we're taking more damage, and we're changing it over sacred damage, and again we're doing that for curse. You can go to ether, but you get weakness and stasis, and we went curse. So that is the skills. Let's talk over the passive tree. We have changed up a little bit here. So let's talk about the main nodes here. So we're taking this for crit chance score, right? Then this improves our critical damage multiplier by 30%, so more crits we're doing. This one, I think this is going to be a must-have on any build. For in-game, this drastically reduces the damage you take. If you're feeling squishy and you're playing late games and you don't have this in your build, you might want to try working that in. It's a really good skill. Then we're taking this to apply another element stack. This allows us to apply 2 at once. This gives us more damage, 10 stacks, up to 10 stacks per ailment. So it's Immortal Offerings pretty much in every build as well. This just gives us a 50% chance to multiply when we apply ailments that multiply it by 2, so it just gives us more. We're coming over here. We're taking this node, and this node goes with it. So this deals an additional 2% occult damage to enemies per curse stack. So we can do 25 curse stacks, so that's an additional 50% damage when we that's just with this node. Then we add another 1% here, so that's like 75% damage increase just with this when we have curse stacks on them. When we apply curse stacks pretty quick. We're coming over here, we're doing this one to dealing sacred damage to underlings and special enemies below 10% of their max health. It kills them instantly. You'll see it when they die. It'll be like this little lightning animation. It's pretty cool. This also applies to champion enemies. So underling is specialist, so underlings just trash mobs, specialists is blue enemies, champions are yellow, and bosses basically. This one we're taking because when we have force shield is above 50%, we gain 25% damage. So that's why we're taking it. When it's below, we get 25% attack damage, which we don't really care about. So so that's just another damage boost, and that's mainly why we switch most of our skills over to sacred damage as well, because we get additional points of damage. Both of these nodes help out a lot, and we're doing occult damage, so there's those nodes. Over here, we're pretty much coming over here and picking up willpower nodes over here. We're probably going to spend 1 point into this to pick up the health globes at a little bit longer distance. Gives you a plus 15 radius. It's a big difference, actually, you'll notice. And then we're coming over here and picking up this one to get +1 projectiles. We lose 20% of the projectile damage, but this applies to Arctic Spear we're using and Havoc Orb. So if you have any questions about the skill tree here, let me know. I will be posting the build guide link in the pinned comment, so you can go over the final skill tree and look over that and all the notes and everything I have in there. Let's take a look at the gear here. So I've been using this pistol for a little while. Cannot find a better pistol. This is 3 rolls of damage on attacks. Slightly low. You can get better rolls, but for spell damage, it doesn't matter what type it is of damage. Spell damage just goes off of total damage, so you want that. This gives us crit and life leech, so it's a pretty good all-around pistol for this build. This catalyst is really good as well. It's got max spell damage. I'm pretty sure 40% max. Adds ether damage, adds crit chance score, occult alignment chance score, and the freeze is a write-off on this one. We can't really do anything in this build, but sometimes you get that. The boots, we're using rogue, giving us health, force shield. 20% occult damage is the max you can get. We get wisdom, attack speed, spell casting, more force shield, and more health. These pants, I could probably find better pants, but right now they're pretty decent with the health and the resistance we get. We get element damage, which we're not really caring about. We get cooldown reduction, wisdom, so those are nice to have on your gear. Our belt here, occult damage again, willpower regeneration, force shield, and alignment score. Occult alignment. Those are a lot of the affixes you're looking for. Gloves here, some more occult damage, toughness, force shield regeneration is nice to have, spell casting, alignment score, so it's pretty much the same kind of stats on all this gear. This one can improve a little bit because we only get 12% occult damage, some toughness, some crit chance score, some element chance score. So this ring's pretty decent, 14 occult damage. We got transfer to willpower and rage on the affix and using on the gem. Regeneration, force shield. This one's a decent unique ring that dropped for me. Some damage, some health, some attributes, force shield, and movement speed. So it's a pretty good ring, I would say. Let's kind of hover over some of this other gear here just to kind of give you an idea. You can pause the video, screenshot, whatever you want if you want to look at the gear that I have. And then we'll talk about the helm here. This helm, I really like this helm. It dropped for me. You don't have to have this helm. Just find a good bruiser or heavy. I'm not sure exactly. I think it's heavy with health, and you want a health and all resist. Just find some good rolls on it to add damage and element score chance. But this helm's really good because it gives us it still gives us force shield, and it gives us resistance, and it gives us health. It gives us more chance score with sacred and shadow with weakness and curse chance. So if you look at our curse chance is 65.6%, right? If we take this off, we go down to 54. So it gives us almost gives us pretty much 10%, 10-11% increase just on this helmet alone. So it's really nice. And plus the health and the resistance on it's pretty decent. And then the bottom two suffixes on it are just a nice to have. So when the enemy is affected by 5 weakness stacks, a shadow damage area effect is cast upon him, so that gives us a little more damage on him. And then 5 curse stacks gives us a healing effect. So if we're in the healing effect, which we're generally not, we can get a little bit of healing. It looks like a bulwark. I don't know if you've seen bulwark, but when it casts on an enemy, it looks kind of like this. So that's pretty nice. So if you have any questions about the build, of course, leave them down in the comments section. We're gonna showcase this build, and we'll get into a run here. All right, guys, here we go. Here we go. We're starting on a 187 level here. This is I like the boss on this one, but I don't like I don't like the that guy surprised me. I'm trying to think. I get distracted and can't think properly. One of the elites or champions, whatever they're called. The one that goes into the ground and pops up and puts you in a little cage. I don't particularly. He's difficult to fight because of him going up and down, and I like to try to stun. Let's see. Probably the guy we were just talking about. So this is just ridiculous amount of clear speed, pretty much. Yeah, I see what I'm talking about. They'll put us in the cage here. And I was even out of that and he got me. Like I said, we might go down here. He's broken. There we go. That was a close one. Dude can be a pain in the butt to fight. This build is just going to improve. So once we get the we got 10 more points to spend on the skill tree. Also forgot to mention that in the town, in the primordial piece, there's 3 pieces. That's where you get your 5th skill unlocked. You can get 2 more passive skill tree points. I think it's 500,000 gold. But it's definitely worth it. So I think you can get a total of 92 points. Man, sometimes it's hard to avoid. Oh. Should be dead here. There we go. Biggest pain. Go ahead and pick up these. Boom. There we go. You can even hear the animation of them when these guys die. The little lightning animation, that's that skill in the skill tree. This one here, Dawn's Pios Striker. I've also turned off all the basic damage numbers, and I've only got the crit on, which you can do in the settings. Go. And I also want to do some more build, guys. I kind of want to try to fit a staff into doing all like willpower build, where we can sustain that way in game. Not sure how that's going to work. And I want to do a melee build, basically a spin to win kind of. If you ever play Path of Exile, Cyclone build, Whirlwind and Diablo World. But I'll have to definitely farm gear for that. It'll take some time. See, with Havoc Orb and Arctic Spear, they make such a good combo. They just kind of cancel each other when it comes down to cost. Figured we're gonna go down there. I messed that one up. I jumped right into a pack of enemies. Forgot to hold down my Havoc Orb there. My brain's not fully firing. It's kind of early. Kind of woke up early to get a video recorded. So I'm not going to be able to do it today. And this build will get even better. You know, fine tune the gear, get all the skill points, get up to level 90. Oh, I tried to dodge that. So we're getting the main stacks we want on them first. And there we go. He is dead. So that's kind of how the build works, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Let me know if you want to see anything else. Any tips, any tricks that you want to see, any guides, let me know down in the comments. Peace out, everybody. Thank you for watching.